Hey folks, Jim Hudson here with your weekly on the spot web fishing report. Anyways, like always, I'm going to start with the ice conditions. Not much has changed here in the last week. We did get that rain and some slushy conditions, so areas with thinner ice actually suffered from this. But now we have some colder weather, and the ice and slush has firmed up in other areas. The biggest areas of concern right now, the Salt Channel area blew out again during this last storm. Also, this ice around Bayfield over to Madeline, from Ferry Dock to Ferry Dock, and then over to the Salt Channel, that busted up again, and um, is all refreezing again here. So we got a little bit of snow here today, Wednesday, and so it may look like it's good ice, but it's not. It did blow out and it skimmed over. Other areas that are kind of iffy, watch out around the Onion and around the Sioux. There is ice around there, so if you are gonna check it out, do walk, check it out first, and make your decisions from there. Red Cliff over to Basswood Island, still, there's ice there too. Use caution for sure. There's a lot of bad pressure ridges around that area. Um, be very careful with that kind of stuff. Everywhere else though is good. Bodine's Resort back into the bay is good. Good travel conditions, good ice conditions. People are driving trucks over off of the bay to the pressure ridge that runs off of the lighthouse, and that's mainly where everyone's fishing is off the lighthouse there in that area. Fishing wise, still about the same. You're wanting to find deeper water, get off that first break off of the shorelines or in the basin areas off of the lighthouse. 25 feet or deeper, and which is normal for down in the bay. Usually fishing right now slows down there, but people are still catching some fish. Um, around Ashland to Washburn, mainly smelt, perch, and some cohos and a few lingering browns still. Same thing goes for when you get up around the corner by Houghton Point and down across to the Onion. That deeper water seems to be key this year. No reason why not to start in shallow to check it out. Maybe set some tip ups in there, but uh, my uh, what I've been seeing, get in a little bit deeper water. Seems like there's a lot of bait this year, and fish are out over them breaks and feeding heavily out there. One good bite that's going on this year, and it's been going on for a few years now, is the whitefish bite. It's been pretty consistent. Some days they're really aggressive. Some days, they do have to be teased. They do have a lot of food, but there's a lot of them around, so you can contact a lot of them in general areas. And from Washburn, usually around Houghton Point, and then across the channel over by the green where the green can buoy is, working your way north up to Long Island along that break. There's good areas in the bay to find them, and then off of the Onion you get out in the deeper water. The deeper water kind of bowls in to the Onion, and in that area, anywhere from 40 to 70 feet is what I like to key in on. I like areas with steeper breaks, uh, that, and they'll be right on the base of that break. But you can find them also in shallower areas that have sandgrass associated with them. I do really good in that area too. But the majority of the time, that 40 to 70 foot range, deeper as the day goes on, and it's usually a pretty good bite. And most of the time, we fish them with spoons or like jigging lures, such as jigging Raps, heavier jigging lures, jigging Raps, uh, jigging shad from Rapala, and the Nils Master shad all work good, different sizes. But then there's the days that they get really finicky where they'll chase you around, and they just don't seem to bite. You know, namely, spoons. I showed this before. When you get in the deeper water, this half ounce, 3/4 ounce spoon is something you may want to need in that 70 to 80-foot range for these whitefish, because it's heavy and gets down. You know, it's got a good attractor, the Macho Minnow with this little fin. But when they get finicky, I'll run a drop rig. You can see the line coming up and then to just a regular jig here. This is a Gens worm. There's all different sizes, and this one is a size 6, and it's about what I start with. And a lot of times I'll put a half a minnow on there, or I'll just put wax worms depending on the day. But one thing that I like to do is you can see the line there, is I pull my line, you see it to the top of the eyelet, so it hangs that jig down. So when the whitefish comes in, it can get it with its mouth, because their mouth is overturned, and they can get it a little bit easier into their mouth that way. But that dropper rig can be pretty deadly on those days when the whitefish are kind of finicky. And what I like to do is drop it down to the bottom, you know, bring it all the way to the bottom and poof that big spoon onto the bottom, and then slowly raise it, and then just keep that small jig close to the bottom as they come in. And usually once they see that poof, and they'll start rooting around on the bottom like a perch, and they'll find your jig. So that's your tip of the week. And I hope you guys have great fishing this weekend. A couple other things I want to mention is, if you are in the Eau Claire area this weekend, I'll be at the Deer Classic. They're doing an ice fishing side of it as well. I'll be doing some seminars there, and I'll be in the ice team clam booth as well if you guys have any questions relating to Lake Superior fishing or fishing in general. Also, Lake Trout University is coming up February 19th and 20th. Gary Parsons, myself, Craig Puchat, John Marksman will be around. We'll be there to put this on and help you guys become more proficient at lake trout fishing. Um, and then my annual Ice Roads event down on Lake Okoboji, Iowa, will be coming on March 5th through the 7th, first weekend of March. That'll be a great deal. Dave Gens, Jim Kasuda, Don Cox, Scott Reed, Rod Wotton, just a list of who's who in the fishing industry will be there to instruct this, and in the classroom and on the ice. It'll be a great time as well. So if anyone has any questions, you can find you know find me at home here or on my cell phone. Everything's on my website, which is www.fishshawamiganbay.com, and my phone number is 715-779-5833. All right, hopefully you have a great weekend. Take care. Bye.